Hello. It is January 1st for most of you, those of you who aren't on Patreon, because you'll see it a little earlier. I wanted to announce my new project for the coming year, which I am calling Project 2021. This project is going to be very different than anything I've ever done before. As far as I know, it's different than anything anyone else has done before. I might be wrong about that, but as far as I know, this is pretty unique. It might be the stupidest idea I've had, but it might also not be, so I guess we'll see. If you're interested in coming along for what might be a total mess, please stick around with me and I will explain to you what I'm doing. The idea of this project is that I'm going to write a novel completely in the public eye. So the idea behind it will be that I will write, and as I write, you will be able to see what is being written. It won't be exactly in real time because I am trying to limit the amount of real timeness to it, partly because of my anxiety. But what I'll be doing is I will be creating a Google Doc, which all of you will be able to access and see. I'll be updating that Google Doc as I'm writing to keep it up to date so that you guys can see where I'm at with the story that we're working on. Now, I don't want everything to be like exactly the moment it comes out because sometimes we don't want everybody to see everything we backspace over. So I am going to take it and copy paste it rather than having it be something you can watch live. It also probably will minimize the amount of stresses on the Google system to try to not have everybody watching me write on it live. Especially because I might work on it on Friday night live streams and that would be really fucking weird. So I don't think I'd do that. So that's why I'm going to update it this way. My patrons, however, are going to be able to comment on the document, and those comments will be taken into account as we progress through the story and get to editing and things like that later on in the project. As time goes on, I'm going to share other parts of the process, things that I may or may not always do, things that I do because I enjoy them, like character outlines. I think character outlines are a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite things to do. So down the road, you may end up seeing a character outline pop up for the story. I can't guarantee when, but because of the way I write, it'll be kind of as the characters reveal themselves to me. I have a survey down below that I would love for you guys to go and fill out. It is kind of some ideas on what you guys would like to see with this story. I don't want this to be a me story. I want this to be a community story. So I'd like to see what kinds of things people would like us to look at as far as themes and things like that. I am a horror author. I am an adult author. I am the kind of person who writes typically in contemporary times. I can work a little bit outside of those areas, but not a whole lot. It's just my wheelhouse. So for those reasons, I'm not going to be writing a romance or a rom-com or a play. That is not going to be what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a novel. It's probably going to be dark in nature. As the story progresses and as things change, I will be dropping more surveys so that you guys can continue to put input into the story and to what we are doing with it so that we can kind of move together. The big thing is that I need everybody to remember that this is going to be a first draft. This is going to be just kind of how it starts. The idea behind this is that I have noticed that there's a lot of talking about the process and not a lot of seeing the process. And because of that, I'm going to take myself out of my comfort zone and do this publicly. I just want to be 100% clear in that I'm fucking terrified of doing this. So if you could try to keep that in mind as you are watching these videos and filling out the survey and things like that, that this is not my idea of like a good way to get everybody to pay attention to me. In fact, this is actually kind of terrifying, but I thought it was a neat idea and something that I could do that would be different and also might give us a different result. And I feel like art and creativity is partly trying to figure out a different way to get results that are similar but might be slightly different due to the way you got them. And as excited as I am about the project, I do want to make sure that I point out to you guys that I am a full-time day job person, so I do not have 40 hours a week that I allot to writing. I have 40 hours a week that I allot to my day job, and then I write when I can. For that reason, I can't guarantee how much is going to get written and how quickly. I can't guarantee that I'm going to write every Tuesday night. I can't do those things because of the way my life works. But I do think that that is a reasonable problem to have, as a lot of people maintain daytime jobs and try to write books together. And I think that's kind of part of this project together, is maintaining a normal life while focusing on a project like this. And I think that's part of the challenge of the project, is to maintain my normal life, which does include a 40-hour work week. That being said, if there's anything that you think I could or should be doing with the project that you would like to see, things like that, feel free to message me. I'm on Twitter almost all the time. My email's pretty easy to find if you are interested. You could also message me over on Patreon. I would be happy to adjust things, and as of right now, I'm kind of playing it by ear. I'm making this up as I go along, so if there's things that you would like to see or things you think that might work out a little different if we did them differently, please let me know. I'd be glad to review them. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work for me, but it might work if someone else were to do this. That being said, I also wanted to bring up the fact that I would love to see other people do some kind of public sort of writing. So if anyone else is doing this, if you see anyone else who is doing some sort of public thing, please let me know, because this is super intriguing to me and I'd love to see it if someone else is doing it. And it also would be less scary if I wasn't the only one over here doing this thing. So it's pretty exciting. Just kind of to give you guys some preparation for what to expect for this project as far as my writing process goes, I wanted to give you guys a quick kind of breakdown of how I start a book. And most of the time, the first thing I do is I have to kind of open my mind up and allow myself to kind of feel other things coming in. I say kind of a lot, don't I? Sorry about that, guys. But I like to let other thoughts and things kind of flow in and out, and the way I find is best to do that is by watching things that set a certain tone for me. American Horror Story, Ghost Adventures, which is the funniest show on television, and, you know, horror movies, those kinds of things, those all set a good tone for me. I like to watch those while I'm playing video games, which allows my mind to wander and then allows me to kind of move into a sort of fictional realm. After I do that for a while, I do get what I call the image. It's not necessarily an image. It might be movement, it might be a phrase, it might be a picture, it might be the snippet of a scene. But what it is it's a thing that tells me that there's a story in here tinkering around. When that hits me, what I do is I have to then let my mind wander a little bit longer. That allows this thing that's clinking around inside my head to be able to create itself into something more tangible. So when I sit down, I don't only have 2 sentences. I have 2 sentences that will then roll into something else that has been percolating. So as soon as I feel like that has kind of floated around inside my head for long enough, that's when I sit down to write. Typically I maintain the watching, listening to things that hit a certain tone for me, and I stare at a blank cursor. The thing about my writing that is a little bit different than some people's, I believe, is that when I first start writing, sometimes it doesn't necessarily come out as the story. Sometimes it comes out a little different than that. I do have stories that started out with, I have no idea what I'm doing here, I guess I'm supposed to write something, maybe I should start writing something, I don't know what's happening. And then I just kind of click into place and the story starts to roll. So that is the way the process will work initially anyway. As far as the editing and all that further down the road, I haven't even thought about it. Right now, I'm more interested in whether or not I can actually write this book. So we'll see where this goes. I hope that you are half as excited about this as I am. I think this is going to be a lot of fun and really neat, but I also think it's probably going to be kind of strange and it might be a little bit scary. So if you would just be gentle with me throughout the process, I'd appreciate that, because you got to remember that everything for right now is going to be a first draft. So I appreciate that. So I think that does it for right now. Please, please, please go down below and click on the survey and fill out that survey so that I can figure out exactly what I'm doing as far as where I'm going to start with the story. As far as the layout of these videos and when these videos are going to be coming, I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm hoping to have that a little more fleshed out by the time the first video comes out where the surveys have been returned. I do need to give some time for the surveys to come back, so it'll be at least a week before that happens. I do appreciate you guys being here. There is also a link tree down below that has all my links in it if you would like to follow me in any of those places. My Patreon is also in there, which is where you can sign up to be able to add input to the story as it goes. So thank you guys so much for being here and for watching, and if you have not already, I would love it if you would subscribe down below and hit the like button, because that does help me a whole lot. And if you think this idea is neat, maybe share the video with some friends. Yeah, so I think that does it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you all in the next video. Have a good week and good writing. Bye.